America's actions alongside Israel in the region is directly against China. Explosions in Tel Aviv, we're not seeing shit. We're not hearing shit. Bro, massive. Are the AP cameras fake? Like, I'm confused. Israel Defense Forces detected the launch of ballistic missiles by Iran against Israel.
The conflict has, of course, since escalated, with each side launching dozens of strikes. And since the warring sides do not share a border, the attacks have largely... While Iran may have the largest stock of missiles and drones in the Middle East, Israel's air force is considered one of the most powerful in the world, and its air defense system one of the most advanced. And more crucially, Israel has US backing. So is one military at a clear advantage? Does the length of the conflict make a difference? And are there other factors that may play?
Al Jazeera has a pre-recorded segment right now. During this siren alert, let's go to the cameras. This is a Turkish channel. Sokak Kedisi. Stray cat. Well, that one Iranian chatter that said rockets would start coming at 3 to 4 a.m. Turns out, what did he know? Siren stopped. Yeah, I mean, this is the same time as last night. These are the first sirens that come. They're not going to be the rockets are not going to come yet. What? Channel 14 says Trump is going to sign an order. It was Khamenei in the chat. Do you know how long it takes for rockets to reach? Once we get like confirmation from the Iranian side of launches, it'll be around 10 to 15 minutes. I think it's like a 10 to 15 minute. But we don't have confirmation on the launches. Any valid info on cyber attacks against Israel? Channel 14 was actually attacked. Channel 14 withstood a cyber attack. And also, there's speculation that like the interceptor failure was due to a cyber attack as well, but I don't know about that. Chatter in Israel here. Sirens came without the usual 5-minute wait. Really unusual. Heard explosions. We haven't seen any visual confirmations of explosions. They sent fake red alerts and told Israelis to avoid shelters because of a warning of terrorist attacks on shelters. Wait, really?
Be in the situation room pretty soon with the president. Is he still aiming for a nuclear deal with the Iranians? Of course. The president's, as he said today, his position has not changed. What you're watching in real time is peace through strength and America first. Our job is to be strong. We are postured defensively in the region to be strong in pursuit of a peace deal. And we certainly hope that's what happens here. And America first means we're going to defend American personnel and American interests. So when you see jets and you see air defense
Authority
assets,
warns against
counter
fake
UAS
messages.
assets, that's because my job as the Secretary of Defense is to ensure that our people are safe and that we're strong so that we can set the conditions for a deal. And President Trump's made it clear it's on the table. The question is whether Iran will take it. Be in the situation room pretty soon with the president.
I hope China reconsiders their stance. I don't know. They issued an evacuation warning for Tel Aviv. So who knows? Who knows what they're fucking cooking up? Who knows what they got in the lab, dude? I mean, they are very much the opposite of the USSR. But then again, like I said, this could be the push comes to shove moment that accelerates, that pushes China to finally take an interventionist stance that directly is antagonistic to America's immediate military goals in any part of the planet. China has consistently used trade relations and development and loaning, like unconditional loans that they often forgive, as a way to develop a robust network of allies around the planet, as a way to create a secondary market in Africa and the African continent. Having said that, however, their non-interventionist policy, especially when it comes to like military intervention, they're very limited in the interactions that they have with even like Russia, for example. They'll offer some support with Russia in Ukraine. But this is directly, in my opinion, America's actions alongside Israel in the region is directly against China. Explosions in Tel Aviv, we're not seeing shit. We're not hearing shit. Bro, massive. Are the AP cameras fake? Like, I'm confused. Al-Haddad correspondent, 2 rockets fell in Beersheba. Unmute. It's unmuted. Bro, this is the same live feed that everyone is using. I don't know why you guys are saying this. Literally the same live feed that like all the OSINT accounts are using as well as the Associated Press live feed. Trump says he must return to Washington as soon as possible. Trump says he must return to Washington early for obvious reasons. I don't know. I don't know what's happening with the AP feed. I feel like they might be like looping footage. I mean, clouds have moved since the last time we clicked on it. And Al Jazeera Arabic has the same feed too.
المسؤول السابق في وزارة الخارجية الأمريكية وأيضا ساري عرابي الخبير بالشؤون الأمريكية. رام الله أبدأ معك ربما سيد ساري وتعليق على هذه الصور التي كنا نشاهدها وهذه الدفعة الصاروخية الجديدة القادمة من إيران وإن كانت لا تبدو حتى اللحظة على الأقل بأنها كبيرة جدا كما عهدناها. ماذا يمكن أن نقول بشأنها؟ ما تأثير كل هذا على المشهد في
إسرائيل؟
يعني الحقيقة تأثير هذه الصواريخ على المشهد بإسرائيل منوط بقدرة هذه الصواريخ التدميرية. هل ستكون هذه الصواريخ كما
I can see Israel doing a total blackout of all information coming out of Tel Aviv. China's feed? China has a feed? What the fuck? Why did China set its citizens to immediately evacuate? For me, it's not just about Iran's missiles. I think something very bad and big in history will happen after that. OSINT claims multiple interceptions. Multiple interceptions seen over Tel Aviv and central Israel. Where are they seeing this? None of the feeds that are available show any of this. I'm pretty sure this is just this, chatters. It's literally the same feed. They all are getting the same feed and the feed's not showing anything. They heard me. They're moving it now. U.S. Central Command. An hour ago, Iran is preparing to launch a large-scale, unprecedented attack on Israel. They've been saying this nonstop, dude. Go to Al Jazeera Arabic. I'm going to lose my mind. Hey, guys. Al Jazeera Arabic is showing the same Associated Press feed, okay? Please. They are showing the same feed. Breaking loud blast heard in Tel Aviv. Why are we not seeing it? There was literally a rocket. Where? Clip it. No, the Al Jazeera rockets that you're seeing are from earlier, dude. This is from earlier. These are from earlier. These are the same rockets that they're looping. Dumbass. That's a replay. This is the live feed. The live feed is identical to the AP live feed. They're literally looping. There's nothing happening in Tel Aviv. Where are the Israeli chatters? AP Anadolu Agence La'ina. Yes. Now Tel Aviv is given the all clear. Update. Civilians may now exit bomb shelters following Iran's ballistic missile attack. The Home Front Command says, what is happening? We're not. What? Okay. Now I think they have officially cut the AP feed. I don't think that the AP feed is real. I don't think the AP feed is real either. Okay. There's no shot. There's no shot. Either all the feeds are just feeding fake info. It isn't. Look at the skyline versus the others. Yeah, it looks the same. What are you talking about? Tel Aviv now has clear skies, no cloud. What the was that? Bugs, I guess. Yeah, it's just birds. Here, bombs going off. This is fake, chatter. That's fake. Yeah, I feel like there's either nothing going on. Multiple countries asking their citizens to leave Israel. China, Russia, Argentina, and Germany asked their citizens to leave Israel immediately, according to Israeli media. Radar stop for technical maintenance. I don't think that IDF Home Front Command stated the civilians can now leave their shelters. Look at the third failed ballistic missile attack today against Israel by Iran. IRGC and Iranian news are both saying they hit Tel Aviv. Alarms in the center following launches from Iran. Trump, everyone should evacuate Tehran. Explosions to echo in the center after alarms sounded for a second time tonight. This time, too, almost without prior warning. A particularly unusual warning from the U.S. Okay, I can't tell if, like, they are... Okay, listen. I can't tell if there is tremendous censorship happening, so all the feeds are just looping. All the feeds are just looping shit because there are chatters in Tel Aviv that are saying they hear explosions. But the Israeli government is saying that civilians can leave their shelters. We have intercepted another round of ballistic missiles. But there are people that are in Israel saying that they're reporting that there is like explosions that they're hearing. And there's no way for any visual confirmation whatsoever. We covered this earlier. Mint Press says, according to reports, a single cruise missile was fired and was not detected by Israel until it reached its target. An explosion was heard in Tel Aviv. No official confirmation of what was hit or if there was a last-minute interception. It appears that Iran is probing. Nothing that sounded like a hit in Tel Aviv. Probing is when you send a missile to test out the interception capabilities, or if you send a dud. I mean, maybe the cameras are not looping, but it's just like it hit somewhere else. I don't know. The video of the one ballistic missile. This is from the Iranian side. I know IDF is confiscating live stream equipment. I know. I haven't heard shit in Israel. Only a small number of rockets were fired this time, and reports of one explosion in Tel Aviv. Some channels say it's a direct hit. Regarding reports, police launched a campaign today to remove all sitting cameras like the one you're watching and confiscated all footage from many news channels. I'm surprised to see that there are still channels broadcasting live footage of the Tel Aviv sky. Yeah, that's why I'm saying I'm confused by what we are allowed to see from the Israeli skyline. I think going forward, the only thing we will have will be will most likely be footage not from the skyline directly, but will be footage from people's phone cameras if they even release phone camera footage. Tehran's residents have nowhere to go despite Trump's threat. Explosion in Tel Aviv as air raid sirens blare in central Israel. The Reuters news agency is reporting explosions in the sky over Tel Aviv after the Israeli military said it's working to intercept missiles launched from Iran. Times of Israel says air raid sirens are blaring across central Israel. This is from 2 minutes ago in Al Jazeera. There is so much. What is happening? The attack on Tel Aviv a few minutes ago seemed different. Sirens howling, but no Iron Dome interceptors launched a big massive boom, followed by very shortly after sirens were activated, but no video footage. I don't know. This is speculation. All of this is speculation. Okay, so the IDF collected the live video equipment. No, I don't think that they're... I don't know. I don't know what's going on. But what I do know is, yes, they are... Like, they have apprehended people who have even filmed the oil refinery that blew up, as I covered earlier today. And they are... They confiscated the footage of people who have filmed previous strike locations. They also released, from Central Command, they released a new mandate that no one should actually film. Anyway, CNN's talking to Benny Gantz. Let's hear what he has to say.
Anything like that before in those kind of long distances all around us. On the Iranian issue, there's no right or left. There is right or wrong, and we are right.
And just finally, what is your message to President Trump in terms of U.S.
First,
support?
I want to thank President Trump. Yes, I want to thank President Trump. I want to thank the American people and the American administration for many, many years of partnership. And it's definitely the same values, but also the very, very same interest. It's true that for us, Iranian issue, it's an issue with existential potential threat for us. But for the United States, for the American people, in the region, in the Middle East, in Saudi, in the Arab countries around the Gulf, everywhere you look at, it's a major interest. And if you ask the people of Kyiv, it's a major interest for them as well. So I'm sure President Trump, understanding the importance of him being a global leader and probably the most important person in the world in terms of political leadership, I'm sure that he will direct the right thing for him, for the world, and for the region. And of course, I'm sure he cares about Israel very much, but it's their decisions. We are always here for the United States, and the United States is always here for us. And I'm sure that this will be the future, in the future as well.
Minister Gantz, I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Bro.
Thank you very much.
That channel is looping earlier strikes. This channel is showing old footage. It's showing old footage. Okay, I'm losing my mind. What is happening? Channels called like CNN 13, CNN 18. They're just farming. They're Indian bot farms that are literally looping older footage of strikes to get guys like you to be stoked and watch and tune in and go, oh my God, it's happening. Trump, the whole meeting with the NSC as U.S. sends additional forces to the Middle East. Our favorite really good guy in America joining
that the United States of America and the President of the United States have an obligation to make sure that the region is going to a positive way and that the world is free from Iran that possessed nuclear weapon in the middle of the richest place in oil and gas in the world. This could be a disaster for the world. And I believe that the determination of the American president that have been shown recently will pave the way to America to enter into this very important operation. The President of the United States have the option to change the Middle East and influence the war and influence the world, not only the war, in order to do something that will create a better future for all of us.
I saw Tel Aviv citizen post a video on Facebook and a bunch of other Israelis post videos of this. They don't want footage of the hypersonics beating the dome. No, I know. It's illegal. You guys should still do it, though, if you're in Israel. I mean, be safe. First and foremost, be safe. But if you're in Israel, and let's say, you know, you film something, like, I'll take a look at it. You know what I mean? I am not going out there to play with the hypersonic missiles. To each their own, I'm saying. Listen, I'm not saying go outside. I'm not saying leave the bomb shelter. Okay? But let's say you're in a position where you're already outside, you know? At which point, you might as well whip it out. You might as well whip it out, you know? Yeah, let's say you're on your way to the public bomb shelter. That's all I mean. I don't want to see rocket attacks from last night, chatters. I don't want to see that. Oh, this was a very funny video I saw. Gideon Levy once said, Israel's the only occupier in the world that is convinced of its own ongoing victimhood, and I think about that often. I saw this video on my TikTok timeline. I was going to say nobody can prepare you for what you're about to hear, but I think many of you are exactly aware of what you're about to hear. But here it is. The average Israeli position post Iranian retaliation.
Why does it have to happen to us always? Why is it always the Jewish people? We didn't do anything. Like, it wasn't us. Like, we really didn't do anything.
Critics of the Jewish state would say you guys started this war by attacking Iran about 48 hours ago.
I love that he says about 48 hours ago. Like that right there makes just to help you understand the timeline here. That makes it so much funnier.
No. We did not start. No, the Jewish people, Israel doesn't want to ever do a war. The entire world is really against Iran. I don't think anybody wants them to have nuclear weapons. So Israel's doing the job, and then Israel gets all the damage after it. Why does it have to happen to us always? Why is it always the Jewish?
I also bonus points for the exact type of American hog she is, because she said nuclear. Like, this is our own, okay? This is a fresh import. You know this is one of ours, all right? Like she said nuclear. That's a homegrown. Listen. Listen. You can't fool me with that native MENA accent, okay? You can't fool me with that native regional accent. I know one of mine when I see them, okay? That's homegrown American public education right there. She said Iran and nuclear, okay? That's homegrown, baby. That's one of ours. Oh, that's so good. Israeli wants to thank you from the USA. We did all the war for you, you piece of shit. White House staffer disputes Channel 14 report on Trump's direct involvement. Breaking. U.S. fighter jets participating in airstrikes on Iran, according to Israeli Channel 14. Alex Pfeiffer says, fake news. Sean Parnell, American forces are maintaining their defensive posture, and that has not changed. We will protect American troops and our interests. Fuck is this? Breaking. Trump has instructed his aides to try and arrange a meeting with the Iranian officials as soon as possible. What the fuck is going on, man? What is going on? Yeah, I don't think American troops have actually moved in an offensive posture so far. I don't think that that's going on. Art of the deal. Check Al Jazeera. It's over. What do you mean it's over?
It is not true that US is attacking Iran, and it goes on to say that American forces are maintaining their defensive posture. So no change on that front. As you mentioned earlier,
we've just seen and so far this team remains on standby, but that doesn't mean that we are headed for any kind of de-escalation here between Israel and Iran, as both sides are continuing to maintain this very deadly.
Okay, the AP feed is bunk. If this is from literally the last round of strikes, we didn't see any of that shit. So the AP feed is definitely bunk. This is literally Tel Aviv. This should be seen. This should have been visible from the AP feed.
At diplomacy amid all of it, but from here, I can tell you that the feeling is certainly that this is not ending anytime soon. That this could go on for weeks, perhaps, as the Israeli Prime Minister now talks about what he believes he has dealt in terms of a blow to Iran, saying he believes he has set back Iran's nuclear program a very long time, although he declined to elaborate. But he did make clear that there are still additional targets for Israel to go after in Tehran. And we are, of course, watching, even in just the last few hours, those airstrikes are indeed continuing. Caitlin?
I know it says Reuters earlier, but...
All right, Jeremy Diamond, keep us updated on what you're seeing on the ground. Obviously, we've seen a lot of late-breaking developments this evening. Also, CNN's chief international correspondent, Clarissa Ward, is joining us. Clarissa, and as you look at what's happening here, you're at Tel Aviv's largest hospital where you just had to take shelter, just to give everyone context for what it's been like on the ground. Tell us what you've been seeing tonight.
Well, it's been an unusual scene, Caitlin, as you just heard Jeremy articulate there. For the past 3 evenings, anytime you hear those sirens, you know you have about 90 seconds to get to shelter, and then very soon thereafter, we have been used to hearing those barrages of Iranian missiles, some of them intercepted, some of them making landfall. But on these last 2 occasions, we haven't really heard much at all. And on the last one, the most recent one, just about 45 minutes ago, there wasn't the pre-alert. It simply just started with the siren. Again, usually you're given a pre-alert that gives you about 15 minutes to find a shelter. So a sense that things are a little unusual tonight. Doctors here are continuing to be prepared for any and all eventualities. Often these strikes have been happening in the very early hours in the morning. So 4:30 in the morning it was last night when a series of strikes killed 8 people, particularly around the Tel Aviv area. And what the doctors have done, Caitlin, which is kind of extraordinary, I haven't seen it before, is to move this entire hospital, some 600 patients, they moved them into a parking lot that 4 days ago was full of motorcycles and cars and is now, and they did it in the space of 7 hours, full of hundreds of patients who are down there 24/7, since this all started, because they cannot be moved easily in the event of an emergency. They have a whole operations center down there as well, so that they can track which strikes are hitting in which areas and which hospitals it makes sense to bring. So still bracing themselves potentially for what the rest of the night and the early morning may bring, but so far relatively quiet here in Tel Aviv, Caitlin.
Yeah, it just shows you the lengths that they're going to, and also how quickly everything.
U.S. President Trump is weighing a critical decision in the 4-day-old war between Israel and Iran, whether to enter the fray by helping Israel destroy the deeply buried nuclear enrichment facility of Fordow, which only American bunker busters dropped by American B-2 bombers can reach, which is what we've been seeing all day. That's all they've been entertaining.
Ostensibly going to be about
or to force a truce.
Other issues, but obviously the topic, a main topic, has changed given what's happening in the Middle East. Joining me now is Israel's ambassador to the United Nations, Danny Danon, and it's great to have you here, sir, because obviously the president coming out tonight and warning that everyone who lives in Tehran needs to evacuate immediately, and then cutting his trip short has raised a lot of questions about what may have changed. Do you know if there is anything changing on the ground? Are there more strikes happening in Tehran tonight? What is the latest that you've been briefed on?
Caitlin, I can tell you what's happening from our side, not from the U.S. side. It's a U.S. decision what to do, when to do, how to do, if they want to take action against Iran. But from our side, we continue with the strikes. Today we continue to target many military infrastructure.
In a 30-minute time span, they've had 2 people that demanded from the American side that we must make haste and bomb Iran, and do so in a way that is peaceful. And then you had Benny Gantz, the former opposition guy, and now you have Danny Danon, the current ambassador to the UN.
The president says, as he did to reporters earlier, about just what is unfolding in the Middle East. He says he still thinks Iran wants a deal,
Another
wants
weird
to make
flight
a deal.
path from
Do you
China
agree with that
to
sentiment?
Iran following the same flight path, now 4th plane to do the exact same thing.
Well, we have to look at the actions of the Iranians in the last few decades. They are the masters of deception. They lied so many times, and there's a very famous slogan in Farsi, which says, don't look at the hands, look at the legs when somebody speaks with you. And when you look at what they did over the years, they played the game, they lied all along. And I think we have to look at the actions. If there will be a place for diplomacy that will ensure that Taiwan will not be able to threaten Israel and the entire area and the entire world, we will be there. But so far we saw that they are lying, and that's why we decided not to take that chance, not to wait, and to take a preemptive defense attack.
So that sounds like you don't believe Iran is ready to make a deal.
Well, if you analyze what happened in the last decade, the JCPOA, all the negotiations, how many debates we had at the UN on this issue, and then look where they are today. And it's not only the nuclear aspects. You always speak about the nuclear aspect. Look at the ballistic missiles. Every night, hundreds of ballistic missiles fly into Israel. They wanted to compete with the US and Russia with the quantity and quality of those ballistic missiles. So we cannot wait and see what they want to do. If they will come and say we are willing to stop with both ideas of having nuclear weapons and the ballistic missile capabilities, I think everybody will be there to discuss it with them. But we don't believe them that they really mean it.
You just said, talked about the people of Iran.
Going to have like an
issues
Iranian
with the regime
voice?
in Iran. Obviously, we've heard about that plenty. But
Is CNN going to ask Iranians at all what's going on?
Does Israel
at any
agree
point?
that
You think
all of the millions of people who live in Tehran should immediately evacuate?
Well, first I would stress, we support, we love, we pray for those people. 46 years ago, before the revolution, we had direct flights from Tel Aviv to Tehran, and we did so many things together. And we hope that one day it will be the case, that we will be able to continue to develop the bond between the people. Regarding the regime, we think this regime should not be there, and I hope it will happen soon. When we attack, we tell the people not to be there. The people in Iran, they know very well where is the RGC headquarters. They know very well where all the reactors are being built. So they should be smart about where they are spending their time in the next few days.
But you're not saying there should be a mass evacuation from Tehran?
Well, I don't want to get into details, but I can tell you that today, when we knew that we were going to operate in a certain area, we gave them a warning. And by the way, as we speak, even though it's late night in Iran today, you see tens of thousands of people moving out, you know. So I think they know exactly what to do.
Yeah, you threatened them with murder.
The president, that Israel came to the United States over the weekend with a proposal and a possibility to take out the supreme leader of Iran, and that it was something that was rejected by the White House, that the president did not think that was a good idea. There was essentially a concern that it would escalate this conflict. Does Israel see it that way, that if you did take out the supreme leader, that it would escalate this conflict more?
Well, we cannot go into details, but you can believe me that we have the capabilities. You know, we showed the capabilities of the Mossad, the intelligence we had on the leaders of Iran, you know, the strikes on the first day, and also we saw the capabilities of our Air Force. Today we have freedom to fly in many areas in Iran, especially above Tehran. So if we want to target someone, we can do it, but we will not get to the decision when and what and if to do it.
But the U.S. clearly has influence on that decision. If Israel went to the United States and the United States said they didn't think it was a good idea, and Israel clearly listened.
Well, I don't think, you know, we should discuss, you know, what we speak with our allies. I can tell you that the decision to start this operation was made in Jerusalem. It was an Israeli decision.
Danny Danon is so funny. He's like, yes, everyone in Iran needs to kill themselves, and also make sure that the high rises are empty so that we can move some people into Tehran and make it a part of greater Israel. Yes, these are very simple solution, Caitlin. Very simple. If they do not do this, they are anti-Semitic, Caitlin. I don't understand. These are very normal demands that every country would make. Why won't they leave Tehran? They are being anti-Semitic, not leaving Tehran. Don't they know we want Tehran? And also, maybe they should move to the Fordo nuclear facility so we can bomb it and kill as many of them as possible. Let's hear what Fox News is saying for a change of pace.
And U.S. drones, stealth bombers, Tomahawks from the Gulf, B-2s, hitting that Fordow bunker nuclear site underground. And once that goes off, it's end of story for Esfahan, Iraq, and all of the other enrichment facilities. They're going to be gone. And I think it's time for the Iranians to put their ego back in the bag and get to the table before the Iranian people start to ignite a monster revolution. That's where I come out with all this.
Well, Israel has showed some restraint. They could take out their entire electric grid, which is gas-driven. All their refineries basically are on one island. I mean, owning the skies, there's nothing the Iranians can do to stop it. And yet the Israelis have not targeted that. Meanwhile, Tel Aviv is under fire, and they're targeting civilians. So you can see two very different thought processes at work here. But now it's a matter of...
Isn't that funny that the difference of opinion between Fox News and CNN is so marginal at this point? Like,
is South Carolina Senator Lindsey Graham. Senator, you know, you were praising the president for
Senator from Tel Aviv
and going back to the table and back to the table. Yeah. You can't say that he didn't try to give them an out, an opportunity, knowing what the eventual outcome was going to be. And, you know, he said, I told them it's a shame, it's a waste of human life. They can't have a nuclear weapon. And everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran. How do you interpret that, sir?
Well, I take the president at his word. He gave Iran 60 days to do a deal. On the 61st day, we are where we are. There's two ways to stop Iran from having a nuclear weapon. One is diplomacy, the other is force. I think the headline tonight is we're moving into the land of force. I think Iran has allowed themselves to be fooled into thinking they could manipulate Trump. Same old tactics with the wrong guy when it comes to Trump. To all those who voted for President Trump and got him in office, God bless you. He's the right guy at the right time. These are dangerous times. Why do we say no nuclear weapon for Iran? They're a religious theocracy. They're built around an extreme version of Islam. They want to destroy Saudi Arabia and the Sunni branch of Islam. They want to kill all the Jews in Israel and come after us. That's what their whole country is built upon, a theocratic view that there's nobody else in the world but them when it comes to worshiping God. If they had a nuclear weapon, they would use it. Israel believes that. I believe that. So here's the task at hand. Be all in, President Trump, in helping Israel eliminate the nuclear threat. If we need to provide bombs to Israel, provide bombs. If we need to fly planes with Israel, do joint operations. But here's the bigger question. Wouldn't the world be better off if the Ayatollahs went away and replaced by something better? Wouldn't Iran be better off? Tom Cotton is coming on. He made a great observation. The endless war is Iran. Since 1979, they've been attacking the entire region, chanting death to America, death to Israel since their very founding. It's time to close the chapter on the Iranian Ayatollah and his henchmen. Let's close that chapter soon and start a new chapter in the Mideast, one of tolerance, hope.
But the Trump doctrine seems to be very clear to...
Dude, you're Lindsey Graham. The modern Republican Party is functionally identical to the Ayatollahs. Like, what are we, what the, like, you just want to do it Christian style. That's it.
The country of Iran, they're basically at the mercy now of the Israelis
so weird,
at this point. Once the nuclear threat is removed, then the Israelis will have the opportunity
dude, it's like conservatives hate the conservatism of other conservatives overseas that they want to blow up. It's so funny.
They want to survive as a country.
It's like, that's right. Iran hates gay people. I, Lindsey Graham, am gay, but in the closet. Why? Because I'm a Republican senator, of course, and obviously want to punish the gay people here in America.
Just think what happened when the Soviet Union collapsed. Ronald Reagan stood up and said, there's an evil empire on the other side of the Berlin Wall. Donald Trump has been a man of peace. He pursues peace for Russia, Ukraine. He tried to get a deal.
Dog, there is no difference. Like, they are also talking about different ways of blowing up deep Iranian nuclear facilities. They're just using different language, but that's it. These guys say Iranians are bloodthirsty monsters. They want to do sectarian violence to the Sunnis. They're Shia. They're 12ers. They're Shia 12ers. They believe in the Mahdi coming back. And then CNN, on the other hand, is like, well, you know, there's obviously peace through strength, and there's a time for diplomacy. But I believe that, like, a military first strike on the Fordow nuclear facilities would actually bring Iran to the table. But ultimately, they're saying the same thing. That's my point. That's my point. Both these groups are saying the exact same. We have to first strike Iranian nuclear facility to stop them from developing a nuke. They're going to develop it any day now, any moment now, and we have to stop them. And only then can we do regime change and bring them to the table for negotiations.
As that situation was heating up. Pretty remarkable as well. Senator Graham, we appreciate your time, and Senator Cotton will be on in a little bit. We'll get his take on all this as well. But up next tonight, right here on Hannity.
But yeah, obviously, this, I think, should help people understand that American foreign policy is uniparty regardless. They use different language, but it's uniparty nonetheless. I mean, this literally happened with Biden when he pulled out of Afghanistan. Okay, Biden pulled out of Afghanistan, and the media launched an endless negative campaign against them. And liberal media at the time was talking about how up it is that we're pulling out of Afghanistan and how the women are going to get destroyed. They won't be able to have an education. Republicans, on the other hand, were talking about how humiliating the pullout was. That's it. Ironically enough, the Biden pullout was also orchestrated by Donald Trump, going back to the uniparty principle that I was mentioning. So there's always, what is this? Iranian official news agency IRNA has announced the launch of a new barrage of missiles heading towards Israel. This will be the third barrage fired in the past 4 hours from Iran towards the occupied Palestinian territories. I mean, these barrages have been no motion, I'm going to be honest. We haven't seen anything, partially because of the censorship, but also partially because I think that they haven't been sending massive volleys. Hasan PBS, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Do you believe the small annoying strikes for psychological warfare? Yeah, I think so. I think that's definitely a part of it. But the more limited the strikes are, the more Israel will feel galvanized to retaliate aggressively. So even if they were doing attrition, hitting like 1 or 2 missiles every now and then is still going to is not going to accomplish a strategic goal of deterrence. The closest gay bar to the Pentagon, Freddy's Beach Bar, is currently reporting below average activity. Domino's is being high and the bar being low is the classic indicator that something is off. Okay, yes, I know they're there. They're working. They're working in real time. Does Iran actually have a nuke? No. If they had a nuke, this wouldn't be happening. Leo Virgo Aries, thank you for the 10 gifted. The HasanAbi, the Piker Broadcasting Service, PBS, is sponsored by you, the viewers. It is an ad-free experience through and through. But once again, your subscriptions are the only way to support the stream, the Piker Broadcasting stream, the Piker Broadcasting Service. The Piker Broadcasting Service has no sponsors other than you, the subscribers. Please subscribe for $6 or for free with a Twitch Prime. Gorfinia, thank you for the 5 gifted subs. Kit Lisi, thank you for the 10 gifted subs. What is this?
With serious consequences for people and the environment, and delays indispensable work towards a diplomatic solution for the long-term assurance that Iran does not acquire nuclear weapons. Consistent with the objective of the IAEA and its statute, I call on all parties to exercise maximum restraint to avoid further escalation.
The American firm Maxar Technologies has released satellite images of Natanz. The first picture is from January and the second from Saturday. Several buildings on site are visibly destroyed. Iran has demanded stronger condemnation of Israel's attacks on the facilities, calling the aggression a breach of international law and a nuclear threat to the people of Iran.
We urged in this meeting the Board of Governors and the IAEA not to allow their initial failure to prevent aggression to be followed by subsequent failure and to take a strong and effective remedial action. The board must condemn Israeli aggression in its strongest term.
35% off. 5 gifted subs plus, by the way.
Is a distinguished fellow at the Stimson Center in Washington, D.C. and a lecturer in international affairs at George Washington University. She says Israel cannot destroy the Iranian nuclear program.
U.S. tankers are loading up and heading towards eastern routes.
The Israelis have not succeeded in achieving what was their announced goal, which was to destroy the Iranian nuclear program. And they frankly cannot do that without United States assistance.
Among people in and close to the Trump administration, I'm now hearing little faith in avoiding direct involvement.
The Israelis trying to get the United States to step in.
This is from Huffington Post senior diplomatic correspondent Akbar Shahid Ahmed. Among people in and close to the Trump administration, I'm now hearing little faith in avoiding direct U.S. involvement in Israel's war on Iran. As ever under Trump, factor in volatility. But the structural indicators, military deployments, Israel sustaining significant hits are dark. Macron said Trump has made an offer for a ceasefire between Iran and Israel. Who the is Macron? Do you mean the French pastry? You know, the ones that they make with like vanilla? Like it's like a cookie And it's got like a cool little flavor in the middle. Is that what you're talking about? Who the is Macron, bro? Fuck's a cookie gonna do about 40 plus years of American dominance in the Middle East? What do you mean, Macron? Oh, you mean macaroni, like the pasta, like the one that you make with cheese. Is that what you're talking about? What's a pasta gonna do? Who the is Macron, dude? Who? Who's that guy? He said Trump leaving G7 early was a good sign after tweeting an evacuation order to the people of Iran. Macron has said that Trump's early departure from the G7 summit in Canada is positive, given the objective to get a ceasefire. He said that Trump had told G7 leaders that there were discussions on obtaining a ceasefire between Israel and Iran. Trump literally refused to sign a de-escalation agreement at the G7. What the is this little man talking about, bro? Macron is so desperate to be at the table. Is so funny. Will Maneker, big difference between now and right before we invaded Iraq is that almost no one in America wants or thinks we need to go to war with Iran, and the people who do are barely even trying to justify it because they don't have to. Yep. Burgles. God damn. Hasan PBS, thank you for the 10. Burgles with 100 gifted. Aerial activity in Iran. In Ahwaz, Iran. Right now, I'm treating every single thing, every single piece of information that comes out of the will they, won't they style situation that we are watching unfold as smoke and mirrors until there is verifiable proof that America is de-escalating tensions in the region and redirecting its military positions away from Iran. I will assume that we are full tilt gearing up to go to war with Iran. Fightux breaking ballistic missiles launched from Iran. Red alert right now, Tel Aviv launches detected. Breaking detection of launches towards occupied Palestine. Alerts may be activated in the coming minutes in the areas of the Gulf, Manash, Wadi Ara, the Carmel, Upper Galilee, the confrontation line, the Northern Golan, the valleys, the Central Galilee, Southern Golan, and Lower Galilee. Here's what Trey Winks is reporting from Tel Aviv looks like as of 10 minutes
from
ago.
Israel tonight is our own Trey Yangst. I don't think he slept 5 hours in the last week, but Trey, we appreciate your coverage. Thank you.
Sean, thank you. It's been another difficult 24 hours for Israel. Just about 30 minutes ago, air raid sirens were sounding across the city of Tel Aviv, sending nearly 1 million people in the metropolitan area into bomb shelters. Last night, 11 people were killed as 65 Iranian ballistic missiles streamed through the skies of Israel, 5 of them impacting the ground below, 1 in the heart of Tel Aviv. We arrived just minutes after the explosion, speaking with survivors.
When the missiles arrived...
Oh, we covered this already. Sirens going off on the live stream. I mean, I don't even think Haifa is the one to look out for, but it's too tiny to see here. Trey says more incoming. We can see interceptors streaming through the sky towards the north as of a minute ago. Why does the Haifa one say 2003-01? I don't even know where this, I guess it's coming from Ashkelon. Some of the material being promoted tonight by the users of this platform in DC, including many folks in government and close decision-making circles. Israel Defense Forces, if we don't stop them, you're next. IRNA said launches happened 15 minutes ago, but Israel only just now detected them. What the? There's something very weird happening. There's something very weird happening with the Israeli detection. I don't know what it is. It's wonky, and we have no visual confirmation capabilities because I think that all of these cameras are busted. Stop sending me Al Jazeera Arabic feed. Definitely cyber warfare, but I don't think Iran has that capability, though I could be very wrong. No, I think they did. They released a fake. They released a fake feed before. Not a fake feed. Sorry, Iran released a fake alert. Interceptor seen departing Israel to intercept the missiles fired by Iran. It's not fake. I hear missiles crashing right now. Well, we can't see anything. Trump has encouraged Vice President J.D. Vance and his Middle East envoy Steve Witkoff to offer to meet the Iranians this week, according to a U.S. official New York Times reports. Okay. That's a decent update. It should be daylight there now? No, the sun's probably only now coming up in Israel. If they want to send J.D. Vance, that means they want to kill everybody. Whoa, what the fuck? What is all this shit? There's something wonky. I mean, it's reloading, but there's something wonky happening with the feeds. The Western Wall cam? What the fuck is this gonna do, bro? Me and 72 others just watching the Western Wall. Hasan, go back. What? Oh my God, I'm gonna lose my mind. If one more person sends me a CNN 18 link, I'm gonna end the stream. Everybody keeps sending me the Pentagon gay pizza indicator with the gay bar and the fucking... Oh my God. Literally everyone keeps sending the same shit. CNN 18... or the gay bar near the Pentagon is not selling pizza, but Domino's is selling a lot of pizza. Or getting duped by the Al Jazeera Arabic feed that keeps looping successful strikes over and over again from previous days, thinking that that is a strike that just took place. They're not hitting Tel Aviv anyway, or Jerusalem, I don't think. So the Jerusalem feed wouldn't show anything. What is this looping into? Another very small attack, no more than 5 missiles. Open source intel, I heard at least 20 interceptions. Haifa area targeted right now. That's the interception. I feel like we're getting more and more insane trying to watch this and trying to make sense of it. I think I'm going to stop looking at the new interceptions and look at the new updates with JD Vance.
The highest stakes that I think he has seen so far in this president's foreign policy.
Yeah, and he also really has always sought a Nobel Peace Prize and is trying to play a role in this. He was pointing the other day to Pakistan and India and other conflicts. Dasha Burns, Kristen Holmes, great to have both of you reporting here tonight. Coming up here on CNN, the suspect in those shootings of the 2 Minnesota lawmakers was in court today